Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I have a face cam now. I had my webcam sitting there. I thought I'd make use of it. I apologize. I know in the last video my audio did cut out a little bit and it might still do so. I'm using my phone to record the audio. I'm at college. I don't have my Blue Yeti or my Blue Snowball, which are sitting at home. I'm going to try to get one of those here by the semester so I can give you proper sound quality on these tutorials and content coming out on this YouTube channel. I post on Reddit with some people asking some people within the Bubble forum to give me some ideas on what they want to see and stuff of that sort. And I've gotten a ton of feedback from great people, and so I appreciate the support. And it's definitely on my list. I have a running list that I'm going to be kind of weaving through and making content on. What we're going to go over today is the pricing table for Bubble. And that's something I've recently kind of figured out as I needed it for my startup, one of my startups, DJ Finder. And so I'm going to kind of give you a preview of what it looks like when it's fully implemented, how you can use it, integrate with Stripe. And the reason I choose to build my own tables rather than using something that you're looking at right here. So what's currently available is Stripe's embedded pricing table, they call it. And so you have access to this within Stripe, and it's pretty simple to set it up. It requires a minor bit of code just to send some user parameters to Stripe and back based on the user, so they know who to subscribe to the plan, of course. It's pretty easy to set up. Otherwise, you throw HTML field into Bubble, and you put in the code that they give you. And it's somewhat customizable, actually. So this is what it looks like on average. You can see this is the canvas template, and then over here is actually what Bubble lets you kind of customize. So you can, change text, button colors, and stuff of that sort. And what they do is they just use the products that you have within sorry, I said Bubble Stripe. They let you change the content within this pricing table based on the Stripe products you have and the Stripe features and whatnot you've set up within the products in Stripe. So the reason I choose not to go this route, even though it's just really simple and it does look pretty clean, is because when you do it your own way, you have full customization. For example, with my startup DJ Finder, we have a plan called Platinum, and as you'll see in the example I show you, we have a nice little platinum badge behind it to kind of convey the plan's essence or aura. Essentially, just another thing is the way my onboarding set up for DJ Finder. We have plans on the right side when they're signing up as a DJ, and it's 4 different plans as blocks. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 by 2 instead of 3, because we have 4 total plans. It kind of gets crammed if you're squishing everything within 4 columns. So that's the reason I choose to personally go with a custom pricing table. And I wanted to make this video because I've noticed on YouTube there isn't much of Bubble pricing tables, if any at all. Actually, they just talk about Bubble's pricing alone or the Stripe embedded component, but nothing about how to create a pricing table. And the big thing we're going to do is it's going to be in a way where your user can select a plan and it does not get saved to the database or get sent to Stripe or anything, or whoever you're using for your payments provider, until they select and hit continue. And so I'm going to teach you guys how to set up states within the page to have them show the plans, and then select the plan, and then once they hit next, then you can run a workflow action. So let's get started. I'm going to actually show you right here in my startup. So this is DJ Finder. I'm going to show it to you so you can see what it looks like here. Oops, I'm going to have to go back 1 second. Just because I completed this rant yesterday, I'm going to have to just set to no. I'll set this to 5. Cool. And then let me go onboarding, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like over here. Cool. There we go. My phone's just going to cut out audio here and there, so I apologize for that. Every time I get a notification, it's just going to shut it off. Okay, so this is what the onboarding page looks like that I'm currently building. So you can see I have my 4 plans here for my startup. It's Light, Pro, Platinum, and Premium, and you can see with Platinum I've been able to incorporate a nice little background there that kind of matches the theme of it. I have my prices, descriptions. These icons are kind of generic for now, but you'd be able to change those. And then I have all my features here, and so I'm going to teach you guys how to actually put this into Bubble. And you can see I'll show you my backend database here, the way that it's actually set up. So you can see it's actually just a comma separated list here. But within Bubble, I'm able to actually display them as bullets, which is what you would want. So it's pretty cool, and I'll show you guys how that's done. But basically how it works within plan selection is the user would be able to select the plan. You can see when it says select, it changes to selected, adds a nice little icon. And then I've had some conditionals here that kind of change this to now let you continue. And it also says the plan's name. So you can reference what plan the user has selected anywhere on this page, which is great. So you can use that for, okay, like, you could have a promo text at the bottom ready to start with your pro plan, or just starting out, no worries, start with our beginner plan. And you can kind of write that text out as a button, or just, text over here, however you like that. So basically a user would be able to select the plan. So what I've done is with Lite, it's not going to actually show a payment portal, and I've done that with conditionals in the back end. I'm not going to go into too much details on how the workflow aspect works. This is more about the design and creating it on the front end. The workflows are pretty unique to your use case, but if that is something you need help with, just drop a comment. I'd be more than happy to help. But for this, I'm not going to choose Lite. I'm going to go to apologize, my phone disconnected again. So I'm going to choose Pro here. So you can see it says selected, and then we have continue with Pro. So when the user clicks this now, they're brought up with a little Stripe page, and then just enter a sample card here. There we go. Just enter anything. There we go. And then they would be able to hit looks good. And you can see it's in test mode on Stripe. That's the payment provider I'm using. The user can hit, there we go. User can hit looks good, and then they will be moved on to the next page. And you can see I have a little toast that just says you're now on the pro plan, updated, and they could finish the onboarding. So that's what we're going to kind of go over. So let me get out of this, and we'll go to our test app here. And this is how it looks with the test app. So this is pretty much what we're going to be building today, is a nice and simple page where the user's going to, let's say this is company Brandarrow, which is my agency. Let's say they come to this agency, they want to choose a plan. You can see the user currently does not have a plan, so they can look through the plans. Again, same system here. Very simple design, because design's not the main aspect here. You can customize that to your needs. It's about the function here, front-end function. And so the user can now hover over and select. So let's say I want to select Pro, or I want to select Lite, Premium, and you can see it's not updating within the database because the user might switch back and forth between the plans. But once the user is ready, I just have save here for the purposes of this tutorial, but you would have a next button or continue button or subscribe button, anything of that sort. So I'm going to hit save on the Pro plan here. And you can see now in the database, my user plan is now set to Pro, and I can show you actually back here in the database. There we go. So for this test user, now the plan is set to Pro. So this mic is going to get the best of me. So let's say the user wanted to switch to Premium. So they'd be able to just, so you can see it already says selected. They want to switch to Premium, they can switch to Premium, hit save, and then boom. Now the current plan is Premium. I can go to database, and you can see now it says Premium. So it's pretty cool. It's very fluid, and everything's on the front end, saving the states and everything of that sort on what plan they want to choose. And then everything goes into the back end based on the workflows you choose, whether it be you just want to save it to the database, you want to email it to yourself what plan they're on, do it manually, or you want to send it to Stripe and automatically subscribe them, whatever you'd like. So here is like the general overview of how the data types is going to work. So I'm not going to go over the user because this is pretty self-explanatory. This is a built-in data type that comes with Bubble, and you're literally just going to go through the user and add a new data type, or add a new field called the plan. You can call this whatever, subscription plan, product, whatever. And the type of it is going to be plan. So you would do this after you create the actual plan data type. So for that, the fields I have are name, price, features, and icon, which is optional. I don't have it, but you could really add whatever into this. You could add like a Stripe product ID if you wanted for this plan, whatever you really want to make it cater to your use case. So I'll just show you how it looks on my side over here. So I have all plans here, and you can see I just have those 3 plans that we just saw right here. And then I'll just click into one of them. Same thing, I have my name, features, my price, and then over here, same thing, I have my features separated by commas, so we could print those right here as bullets. And then the slug, I like to just set this to the name of the plan. It makes it easier for you to then go back and reference the plan in an easier or more compact way, at least. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new page, and we're going to get started with this. I'm going to show this again really quick, just so if you want to quickly pause the video and just make these data type configurations within your database, you can do that really quickly. If you already have it pre-set up, even better. So let's get started. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new page. I'm going to call it YouTube pricing plan. I'm going to hit create. Perfect. Cool. We're going to go into here. Again, we're not too concerned about responsiveness, design, anything of that sort, but I do want to have it look work somewhat decent. So we're going to do a row type, or we can do column. We're going to do a column. We're going to center it on the screen, and then we can do min height. We don't need too much here, so I'm going to do like 730, 740. That should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. And then do this to like 1100, 1200. There we go. Just a little more modern the web page shape. Cool. So now what we're going to do is first and foremost we can add some text elements here just to say, you know, welcome to this page. Center align this. Welcome to Brandarrow's pricing page. I'm gonna actually we can do welcome to Brandarrow. Cool. We're gonna make this heading, and it's a little big, so we can go like 36. That's fine. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave that left aligned. She's gonna make this left too. For min width, we can just get rid of that and tell it to fit to the content. Min height does not matter. We can fit that to content too. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this. It's going to paste right below. This is where we can write, here are our pricing plans. Please choose what suits you best. I hate this microphone. I might have to expedite it and get my parents to ship my microphone at this point. Okay, sorry, I had to take a second for that. So it's gonna say, please choose what suits you best. Perfect. Leave that there. I'm gonna change this to like a heading 5. So it's nice and small. We don't need this to be bold. Let's make it like 500. That looks good. Perfect. So now we have our text. So I'm gonna group these. So select both of them. Shift select both. We're going to group the elements in a column container because we want them to align on top of each other like that. We can just call this group heading just to stay a little organized. We can make it, I think we can leave it centered like that. Make it fit to content. We don't care about a height on this, just fit it to content. I'm going to add a little bit of padding just because I like that. If anything I do, it just makes it look cleaner. There we go. Cool. So we got the group heading. Now, basically what we're working with now, so let me keep this side by side so I can show you. So this is what we have, this is what we're trying to get to, and this is where we're at. So I'm gonna get rid of the debug URLs. So we have the heading. Now, next thing we need to add is, this is optional. Obviously you probably won't have this on your use case. I just have it for the tutorial to tell you guys what plan the user's currently on. So I'm just gonna add it just so we can see the final preview too. We can see the plan switching on the user. I'm gonna just give it some margin so it's a little off the top there. We can make this even thinner like that, maybe 400. It's 15. Oops, 15. And here we're gonna do parent group. We can do current users, plan, name, and then we can put a text before it. Your plan, your current plan is in space. And there we go. So that will say the user's current plan, and that looks good. And then okay, perfect. So let's refresh this. There we go. So the user is on premium. If you remember, we were fidgeting with it earlier. That's why it says premium. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it from the user. So we don't have a blank slate to work work with. Boom. So current plan. There we go. Looking pretty similar here. Next thing we're going to add in are our repeating groups, or our repeating group to add in our plans. So to do that, you can go here, back to our editor, type in repeating group. We're going to go ahead and drag that right here. Perfect. So this is going to be our repeating group. I'm just going to name it so it's organized pricing table RG for repeating group. Cool. We can set this to column. That's not big of a worry. We can have this stretch to the bottom of the page, and then give it like okay. I apologize for the jump cuts. This mic has just been horrendous. It's cut out 2 or 3 times now. So I've just been, to make it easier on you guys, I've just edited this video, which was not the plan, but I really need to get that new mic, or that my mic from home in. So yeah, we added a 60 pixel margin to the bottom here, just so it sits a little above. And then width, we actually don't need this much. We can make it like 75% of the page. I think that's enough. And we're going to just center it on the page horizontally. So this is kind of what we're working with here. Cool. So let's go ahead and quickly set the actual repeating group source up. So the type of content is going to be our plans. Data source, we're going to do a search, and it's going to be for plans. And I'm going to do all plans. If you have fields on your plans that indicate which plans to use, you can set it up so like by price, only plans above that are not free you want to put on here. Let's say you're building like an upgrade page, you do that. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing all my plans, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. So it's bringing all the plans in from our data type of plans now. And you can see that here in plans. We have all 3 that we just created by hitting new entry and just quickly creating them. Cool. So now that we have all the plans in, what you can do with this, I would always set the rows to 1, but you can make this dynamic by changing the columns. So if you have like tons of plans, and I'm talking like more than 4, probably 5, you can make it dynamic so it kind of fits, and it can stretch to fill based on what you're working with. I do know I only have 3 plans, and for most use cases you're gonna have 3 or 4 plans, so we're just gonna make this pretty static. So it's 1 row and 3 columns. That's all we need. Cool. We're gonna scroll down here, turn off the borders because we don't really need that around the entire repeating group, and then inside separators, we can do a little neat trick here to give us some space. I'm gonna set this to 14. Yeah, 14. Let me set it to 15. And we're gonna go to there we go. We're gonna go to color here, and then set that to 0%. That way they don't actually show the separators, but we do have a little bit of spacing between each repeating groups. Otherwise it doesn't work unless you have both of these unticked. You can't actually set spacing. So that's a little trick to work around it. All right, cool. So we're gonna add a group now inside of the plans item 1. And this is gonna be our group called plan. We'll call it plan item. So this is going to be the actual plan itself now. So with this we can make a column also, and we can leave it top line. Yeah, we can leave it top line. It shouldn't matter. We're going to make it fixed width, and we're going to make it 100%. So it's 100% of the column in the repeating group, which is going to be around 33% of this entire repeating group because we have 3. Divided by 3. This mic is really coming at me today. Cool. So now that that's good, I'm going to go ahead and add my background in here just so we can be able to look at it a little easier. So I know in this I've done a little gradient in our example. I don't know if you can tell, but for this secondary tutorial, I'm just going to do a static color, which is just like a nice little blue here. Royal blue, I'd say. Make it look nice. We'll add a little bit of rounding. We'll add it like 15. Make it look modern and curved. Type of content is going to be plans, and then the data source is going to be the current sales plans. So that's getting it from the repeating group. Perfect. Now for min height, we're going to make this 0 and then untick fit height to content. And what that's going to do is that's going to stretch this to the length of the repeating group, which we have set over here to also stretch. So it's going to kind of make it as long as possible on the page to fit, and then that should be it there. And we can refresh it and take a look here. There we go. So they're a little big. So to fix that, we can make it a little bit smaller. This width, like 50. That would be a little too less. It goes 65. Yeah, that looks better. I mean, it's not going to be a pixel perfect to this because I don't remember the dimensions I used on this, but this is something you can play around with. This is not the point of the tutorial, is to actually go through with the function, right? So the design is something that comes after. Cool. So now we have all three of our plan tables set up here. So next we're going to grab a text element and throw that into our group over here. And we can just insert dynamic data, and we're going to do parent groups plans name, because I want the name at the top, right? So for this, I'm going to go ahead and do horizontal alignment. We're going to do fixed. We're going to do fit width to content. Same thing with height. And then we're going to go ahead and center it. And I'm going to make this somewhat bold because it's the title, or the name of the plan, which is kind of needs to stand out to some degree. So we can make it 600, not too crazy. Center it vertically, perfect. Cool. And so now we have that that shown there, and so I can just put a placeholder here so we can get an idea, plan, name, and then I'm just going to set this text color to white. Cool. Let's go, actually 700 did look there. Let's go back to it. Cool. So now we have our plan name, perfect. And we're going to copy and paste this element, and underneath it, all we have to literally switch is, I'm just going to description, plan price. If you have a description, again, you could just add fields as you need. For this tutorial, we're just doing features, name, price. I'm going to choose price, and then that's going to bring in the price, and we can, we don't need this to be crazy big. Okay, so we'll make like 15. 15's good. 16 maybe. And then with this, what we're going to do is we're going to try to click right before it, there we go, and then put a $sign. Whatever currency you're using, you could put in before, and then we're going to do /month, so /m. Again, this is dependent on you and your use case. This is just for this tutorial. I'm doing a very generic concept here. Perfect. Okay, last but not least, we're going to copy and paste this, and now we're going to do that plan features. So to do that, we're going to just clear this out that we copy and pasted. We're going to hit insert dynamic data, parent groups plans, go to features, because that's the values we separated via comma within Bubble's backend. And now we can actually turn that. So let me show you how it looks right now. So if we refresh it, what it's going to look like is it's going to show it like this, which is fine. If you want it this way, then you can, of course, just leave it this way, and you're pretty much good to move on to the next part of the tutorial. But most use cases, you do want it nice and bolded like this. Sorry, not bolded, bulleted like this, so it looks clean and easy to read. So to do that, we're going to go back into here, and once we choose features, we're going to click in the next field, and we're going to do split by right here, and we're going to do a comma and a space. Perfect. And then we're going to scroll, and we're going to do format as text. So now it's taking the features, it's splitting it by a comma and space, so now we have each feature individually. And within that feature, we want to click here and format as a text, so we're going to click that little dynamic indicator up here, and then we're going to choose this text, just like that. Then you're going to hit this one right here, Rich Text Editor. You're going to highlight this text, and you can choose number, or you can choose bullet, whatever you want. I'm going to do bullet, as we said. And then we're going to hit save. And you can see now, if you click format as text, it's automatically adding when needs to kind of go in to set this up as a bullet. Now, the part you're going to erase is the UL part, which stands for an unordered list. because we're actually going to put that on the outside over here within the features themselves. So here we're going to do a open bracket. We're going to put UL close bracket. This is the most coding you're going to be doing on this tutorial, and it's not coding. You're going to do open bracket slash UL close bracket. There you go. Perfect. So now we've taken this to this. So we have a nice bullet list. It looks a little funky because it's centered, so I'm going to switch that. And then we'll refresh it. There we go. It looks nice and clean now. And then what we can do is we can start adding a bit of spacing within this group to make everything look nice. So we'll do that right now. So we're going to go back to the main group for the plan, group plan. So now we're going to go back to the group plan over here, group plan item. We're going to go to layout at the top, and we're going to go to padding, and we're going to give it some nice padding all around. So I'm going to do like 30. 30 looks good. There we go. Perfect. So now we have padding all around. Next, we're going to hit apply gap spacing between items, and we're going to do, this is discretionary to you. I'm just going to do 30, kind of space it out simply. What you could do is you could just group these together in a column, and so that'll keep the name and the price together, and then the features kind of in the front and center. But for the sake of the tutorial, we're going to make it simple and just do something like this. And so now we can refresh this, and it should look a lot nicer. So yeah, now we have something that looks a lot nicer. And these do look really big, so I am going to change this because it is unnecessarily big. So I'm actually going to change it to pixels. I'm going to go like 250. That's too less. 250. Okay, never mind. Let's see, 500. Maybe this works. Yeah, it's a little closer to what I want. Go with like 950. Okay, yeah, this looks much better. I like this this sizing here. Cool. So now we have this all set up, and so what we can do is actually go into the repeating group, and what might be better here is to make this element a fixed height, and I'm gonna make this like really big. Well, I meant to hit like 400. There we go. So this should be, this again depends on how many features and things of that sort you're gonna have in yours, but we want it to be about this height, which looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. So next up, we're gonna add the button. So we're gonna hover over here to button, drag that in, and throw that right here. Center that, perfect. And we're gonna do select as the text for the button, and you could mess around with the color if you want. So I'm just gonna do a black with white. That works, and then we'll leave whatever the default hover is. That doesn't matter. Okay, you can make it a little bolder, maybe a little bigger too. Yeah, that looks better. Default rounding is fine, for me at least. If you wanted, you could change it to 100, make it pill shaped, which is pretty common too. We can do something like that. That's fine. Cool. So now we're gonna go to group plan item, and we're gonna make a quick change. So we're gonna grab these three elements, and we're gonna group them within a column container. Perfect. And now here we're gonna go ahead and hit apply gap spacing, and we're gonna choose the same as we did before, which was 30. Yeah. And we can actually go to this column and untick it, and then within this column we're gonna do space. I believe this is space between. This is space around. So it will kind of center this within and put space around, so it looks a lot cleaner. Maybe we can move this to like 20, look a little nicer. Perfect. So now we have everything set up, and if we refresh it, we should be able to, yeah, there we go. We see the three pricing plans, and on hover it's changing. Perfect. And now we have to actually add logic, the front end logic. So this is the fun stuff. So to do this, what I like to do is I like to actually add the states to the page itself. That way you can reference it easily, because you know the page name. And it's kind of it's a hierarchy. So instead of being within a container of a repeating group, it's instead just at the page. So to do this, you're going to go ahead and click on your page. So you can just click page over here on the left and bubble. You're going to click this little eye at the top, and it's going to open up an element inspector, and you're going to hit add new custom state. And so the state's name is going to be selected plan. There we go. And the state type is going to be plans. So if you have multiple plans users can select, you can kind of make it a list. For our use case, it's just one plan they're going to select, so I'm just going to hit create because they can select one plan. Create. Cool. So now that we have that done, what we can do is we can hit select, our select button, go to conditional, and we can set a conditional to change it to say selected and change the color for when it is has been already selected. So to do that, we're going to do when. We're going to type in the name of the page. So it's going to be YouTube pricing plan. When YouTube pricing plans selected plan okay, yeah. So we're going to do when YouTube pricing plans selected plan is parent group's plan, and by parent group it's referencing this parent group, and as we know, this is plan is set by the current sales plan, so it's kind of like a hierarchy that brings it down. So when it is the same YouTube pricing plans selected plan is the parent group, so it's basically saying when this button, like when the selected plan is this specific plan, we're going to change the text and we're going to write selected. I'm going to change the background style. I'm going to change the background color, or not the style, sorry, the font color. Font color. So the background, I'm just going to change it to white. And the font color we can make a blue. So when it's selected, it'll look like that. If we just hit on here, and this is when it's not selected. Perfect. So now, if we go over here, you'll be able to see, if we refresh, that we have our page looking pretty close to what our original was. And now on select, they're able to hover. And then we now have to add the logic in for them to actually be able to click the select button and for it to do something. So that's pretty easy. So we're going to choose a button over here. We're going to hit add workflow. All right, cool. I'm going to make this red for the tutorial. And search for actions, it's super simple. It's literally one action. We're going to do set state of an element. The element is going to be at the top. It's just going to be your page, so YouTube pricing plan. The custom state is the selected plan, which is that state we created. And the value is going to be parent group's plan. So the plan that the button is part of. So now, when we refresh, you'll be able to see that you can select, and now it's telling within this bubble system that on this page, this is currently the selected plan, or this is the selected plan, and so on. So that works. But you can see it's not doing anything. So that is where the second workflow will come in. And so this is depending on your use case. Like I showed you in the first example with my startup, I have it prompted on a workflow to open a Stripe integration, ask them to prompt their credit card if it's a paid plan, and then subscribe them and then save it to my database. Now, I'm not going to go into all of that because that becomes Stripe logic here. So instead, I'm just going to tell you how to save it to the database. So we're going to add a button at the bottom here. I'm going to say save plan. There we go. Save plan. And we can center the text, and we can center align it. There we go. I'm just going to make it make the same color like that again. Save plan. Cool. So, and I'll show you how to actually add the name of the plan they're selecting within it. So we'll do save blank as the plan. So we can do save space, insert dynamic data. And now what we can do is we can just reference our page again. So YouTube pricing plan, selected plan, name as my plan. There we go. I'm going to give this some more room to work with here. Okay. Actually, give this 14. Okay. So now we have a button that says it, and we're going to add conditional just so it doesn't look weird when there isn't a selected plan. So we're going to do if YouTube pricing plans selected plan is empty, meaning a plan has not been yet selected on the page, we're going to do a text that says, please select a plan to continue. And what we can even do is we can make it not clickable. That way they can't continue without saving or selecting a plan. plan. That way, it doesn't start messing up your workflows and you're forcing the user to just go through with the proper onboarding and select the plan. So we can do that, and we can even change the background color to maybe something like this. Yeah, that works. Cool. So let's go ahead and refresh this and see what it looks like. So you can see now it says please select the plan to continue, and I can't even click it. It does nothing. But when I do select the plan, I can now click Save Pro as my plan, Save Lite as my plan, Save Premium as my plan. So it's super neat. Now, to actually add it as logic to your database or to an API such as Stripe, what you would do is you would go to this button that's either next, continue, save plan, update, subscribe, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to add a workflow to it. For us, it's just save. I'm going to make this red. I'm going to make this a blue, and blue just indicates that this is use case based. So for the actual tutorial side of it, it's just one action and one workflow. This is the second part of it, and this is more what you're doing. So if you had a PayPal integration, then you do a PayPal. Stripe, you do Stripe. We're just going to save it to the database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do make changes to current user. And I already have a field in the user called plan, so that's something we went over here, right? And then the plan, we're going to select it to be YouTube pricing plan, the page again, YouTube pricing plans selected plan. Again, that state that we've set globally throughout the page. And then we have that set. Perfect. And we can refresh this. Cool. So now we can see that your current plan is blank because you can see in the database that this user does not currently have a plan listed for them. But now when they clicked Lite, they can save Lite as my plan, and you can see it updated right in the database. And you can see over here, Lite. Or let's say they want to jump right to Premium, save Premium as my plan, hit that. Now the plan is Premium for them. And boom, that's it. It works like a charm. In use case, like I said, in within this workflow over here, the blue one where you're saving it with this button, what you could instead do is, you could possibly have something here that's like, trigger Stripe's credit card saving pop-up. I apologize for the mic again. You could save the credit card information to that customer within Stripe, and then subscribe them, then save it to your database. That's something like what I'm doing and what I showed you in the first example. But this is basically how to go about the pricing plan. Like I said at the beginning, I saw nothing on YouTube about it, and not much on Reddit and any other forums. So I was like, it's something that should be done. People rely on the Stripe one, which is fine. It does become non-customizable. It's a little bit of low code. I'm sure there's plugins for it, but they're probably going to come at a cost, and even bigger than that is third-party developers are not always going to come to your rescue, though there are some great ones. So you might, you want to consider that. But I hope this was useful to you guys, and it's something you can use within your application as soon as possible. Super powerful, but I think this pretty much sums up how to go about it. And if you have any questions, obviously drop them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to reply to those, along with any ideas or questions you have as far as Bubble is concerned. I'd love to make more tutorials. So thank you for watching. Leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.